The first episode of Dragon Ball Daima has finally dropped in. Man, is it good to have weekly Dragon Ball finally back. The final episode of Dragon Ball Super premiered in March of 2018, which was about 6.5 years ago. And despite all the rumors suggesting otherwise, that show never came back. Super did continue on as 2 full-length movies, but, that's still not a TV show. And it's been a year since Daima was first revealed, so we've been waiting a long time for this new adventure to start. And right out of the gate, I could say that the animation for this very first episode looks wonderful. First, the narrator gives you a very brief summary of the events of Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. Then we're taken down into the Demon Realm and we're introduced to Degasu and Goma. Now, I don't know if the Demon Realm has God Tube like Goasu had in the Goku Black Art, but these two are looking through video footage of the events from the Buu arc. Specifically, they're focusing on Babidi and his brainwashing of the Demon King, because apparently the Demon King is not supposed to leave the Demon Realm. That's what makes this show so interesting. The concept of the Demon Realm within Dragon Ball has not been touched on very much at all. Outside of Dragon Ball Online, which is a game that most people probably aren't even aware of, and Xenoverse introducing Atoa and Mira and Demon King Demigra, you really don't have anything other than that. It's amazing that after all of the expansion to the Dragon Ball world that we got in Dragon Ball Super with the multiple universes, that there are still places in this world that we have not seen. So what basically happens is these 2 new characters pretty much just watch the highlights of the Buu saga. But there's some wild new information that we're given while this is happening. For whatever reason, it would seem that because Dabura is dead, this Goma character is now the new Demon King. It's interesting too because this character reminds me a lot of Emperor Pilaf in that he's really goofy, but he's supposed to be evil. And we find out that his partner Degasu is actually the brother of the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, Shin. Not only that, but there's a 3rd sibling in this family named Dr. Aransu, who seems to be a scientist of sorts. Or at the very least, she's researching something. But it seems like all 3 of these new characters seem to be intrigued by the death of Dabura and what it means for the Demon Realm as a whole. They all seem kind of worried that there could potentially be an invasion of the Demon Realm, which I kind of don't understand because I assumed the Demon Realm was filled with some pretty powerful people. But it seems like the group they're worried about the most is the Dragon Team, having just watched Goku destroy Majin Buu in a video clip. However, we're given more new information with the reveal that the Namekians originated in the Demon Realm, which has been kind of hinted at already, but it was never explicitly stated. However, unlike the Earth, there are only a grand total of 3 Dragon Balls in the Demon Realm. That's all they've got. If you've read the Granola arc of the Dragon Ball Super manga, then you already know that 7 is not the definitive number of Dragon Balls that a set has to have. Also, the balls in the Demon Realm are being guarded by what appear to be 3 very powerful robot warriors. These guardians are called the Tamagami, and it's said outright that there hasn't been a wish made on these Dragon Balls in a very, very long time. Goma outright says that it would be far easier to go to Earth and find their 7 Dragon Balls than try to use the 3 they've got down there in front of them, so they've gotta be strong. So what are the wishes these 2 want granted? Well, they find out that Earth gives you 3 wishes, and they've already come up with 2. The first wish Goma wants to use is to make Goku and his friends all into kids. Apparently, there's a rule with the Dragon Balls that doesn't allow them to use black magic, which I'm assuming means they can't be used for destructive purposes. I guess that doesn't really contradict anything we've heard before, though it was always explained that the reason why Shenron couldn't just say, for example, destroy Nappa and Vegeta when they were on their way to Earth was because that exceeded Kami's power. I guess you could chalk this up as being a retcon. I mean, I guess it doesn't matter. Dragon Ball's full of those. The second wish, though, could potentially be the most dangerous. They want to get their hands on a mythic demon weapon called the Evil Third Eye. Apparently, if you place this artifact on your head, it gives you absolute power. They point out that this relic hasn't actually been seen since the previous Demon King, Abra, who I believe is actually Dabura's father. I can't help but imagine that this powerful demon relic must have some drawback if one of their own leaders wouldn't even use it. I got two different thoughts on this. One, either this is going to be used as a way to bring the demons up to Goku and Vegeta's current level of strength, or there's going to be some major negative aspect of using this power that's going to bite them all in the butt later. Before they go off on their mission, Degasu asks if he can have the third wish, but he doesn't say what he wants, and Goma pretty much just says, "Yeah, I'll think about it." Then we get a tease of this character who I believe is going to be partnering up with Goku later on, but he literally doesn't do anything else. While all this stuff is starting to build in the demon world on Earth, it's Trunks' birthday. Krillin asks him how old he's turning, and Trunks tells him he's turning 9, which Krillin shoots back at him that he's a little short for a 9-year-old. Naturally, Trunks tells Krillin that he has no place to be calling anybody short, and Goku decides to add in that Saiyans will hit a growth spurt when they hit 15. What's really funny here is that for absolutely no reason, Goku just takes a shot at Vegeta by saying that he doesn't look like he grew very much during his growth spurt, and of course it makes Vegeta mad. But Goku didn't have to do that. There's not really anything important happening at this party other than we're introduced to the Supreme Kai and Kibito, who have unfused. Goku, of course, remembers that the last time he saw the Supreme Kai, the two of them were fused together. But they explained that because they saw that Vegito diffused inside of Majin Buu, they decided to have Buu do that to them too, and it seemed to work. Kibito explains that Majin Buu's body somehow produces a gas that nullifies the effect of the Potara earrings. Of course, though, I can't let this go without mentioning it because it's a direct contradiction of what happened in Dragon Ball Super. Kibito and Shen defuse between the Resurrection F arc and the Universe 6 vs. Universe 7 arc in Dragon Ball Super, and they explained that they actually just had the Dragon Balls do it for them. Look, man, I can acknowledge that this is Dragon Ball, and the continuity is already screwy, and Cell should have died from the instant transmission Kamehameha, but he only stayed alive because Toriyama hadn't figured out the nucleus thing yet. We all know this. But could we please not directly contradict another show in the series? At least the Majin Buu having magical gas bit is kind of funny. But yeah, other than them explaining why these two aren't fused anymore and a quick little scrap between Goku and Vegeta, which does look nice, there's nothing else really going on at this party. Meanwhile, our villains have recruited a third member. An elderly Namekian. What's funny about this character is that he's really kind of silly. He's up there in years. Apparently he's several thousand years old. He seems to be a bit senile, and when they get in the ship to go to Earth, he wants to stop and go back and get his toothbrush because he thinks he's going on vacation. It's kind of funny to have a Namekian be the comic relief because they're usually so serious. Anyway, the villains make their way to this giant flying fish being and ask permission to leave to go to the outside world. I'm really intrigued by this whole notion that these beings are not ever supposed to leave. I want to know why that is. They didn't really explain it in this episode. I'm sure they will, though. Once they pass through the gate of the giant fish being, then they meet a smaller fish being who asks them which universe they want to go to. Naturally, they're going to Universe 7, but I was actually really happy to see them acknowledge the different universes here. Ever since the Tournament of Power ended, the Dragon Ball story has stayed firmly planted in Universe 7. I've been wondering if we'd ever even go back to any of these worlds or see any of those characters again, but at least here in Daima there is an acknowledgement that there are other universes out there. They're also told by the fish that Dr. Erensu has been this way recently too, so they're starting to suspect that she may be up to something as well. Once they get to Earth, they head straight for Kami's lookout and immediately confront Dende, wanting to know where the Dragon Balls are. Dende, of course, refuses to help them, but they really don't need his help because it turns out this elderly Namekian can just call the Dragon Balls right to him. And not only that, but he apparently has the ability to refresh the Dragon Balls so that their cooldown time is immediately over. It's always just been assumed that you had to wait out the Dragon Ball cooldown time, not that there was a cheat to get around it. The villain summons Shenron and immediately wished for Goku and all of his friends to be kids. There's a funny moment though where Shenron asks for specific ages for the adults and then asks again, what do I need to do with the ones who are already kids? And Goma is just annoyed by it all and just says, just make them babies. But the episode ends with the wish. We start seeing everyone start getting younger and then the credits roll. After the credits, we get our tease of the second episode, and it just says Glorio, showing that mysterious character who was listening in on Degasu and Goma from before. Overall, I had a lot of fun watching this episode. It was largely just a recap of the Buu saga and a little bit of lore dumping, but I think it was handled pretty well. It was a very smart move for them to incorporate new information and new bits of lore as they were recapping the Buu saga. That way, you're getting the old information you need to know to follow the story, as well as setting up what's to come in the future, all at the same time. I'm very interested in all of these new characters because even though 3 of them are clearly aligned with each other in the 2 new siblings for Shin and this new Demon King, I have a feeling that all 3 of them are after very different things. On top of this other character, Glorio, who's going to be siding with Goku later on. And I'm also really interested in this reveal that the Namekians actually are from the demon realm. I always had expected them to be sort of a divine entity. We know from Dragon Ball Super that it was Zalama the Dragon God who created the Super Dragon Balls. So, was this Zalama character actually a great demon lord? How does all of this work out? How do the Namekians being demons work out with the fact that there are a divine set of Dragon Balls that only the gods can use? But those are my thoughts on the episode. What did you guys think? Did you like it, or did not enough happen to pique your interest just yet? Let me know in the comments who your favorite new character is and what you think they're really after. Thanks for watching the video. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support the channel, you can do that over on my Ko-fi page, or you can become a member of the channel and get a few neat little perks. Now, I'm going to go ask Shin and Kibito if they know where to find a manual for the Patara earrings, because somebody in that world has to know how those things work.